Okay, welcome back to Gibbo MMA. And thank you to the millions, should I say, listening around the world. Just joking, I think. But yeah, I very much appreciate you guys listening to this podcast. This is a UFC Baku post-fight show. There's a lot to get through, especially the announcement of the Jon Jones retirement. I've got a lot to say about that, but be sure to like and subscribe if you're on the YouTube. Hit the follow on Spotify. Leave a 5-star, 1-star review, whatever. But we're also live on TikTok as I'm recording this. So I'm also going to be looking at my phone here with any questions people might have on TikTok. Never been a big TikTok guy until recently, just because it's another platform to post on, and it's actually not too bad. Yeah, I just avoid because it tends to be filled with just girls dancing and stuff like that. So, but yeah, let's get it underway. So we had UFC Baku, and well, I'm in Australia, and the prelim started at 2 a.m. I didn't get up for that because literally hours before, the night before, was Eternal 96, and that finished at just before 11. So I got up at the 5 a.m. for the main card for UFC Baku. Just on Eternal. Main card was hectic. 3 first-round finishes to start the main card. And then the main event, middleweight title fight, Darcy Vendy defends his belt, calls out Dana White for that UFC contract. But let's get straight into the main event. Jamahal Hill versus Khalil Rountree. Rountree wins via unanimous decision. And I think it was 50-45 on 2 judges' scorecards and 49-46. I said leading up to this fight, the leg kicks for Rountree is going to be his key to victory here. All he has to do is just chop down Jamahal Hill's legs, and just that will win him the fight, and essentially did. First round was really slow paced, figuring each other out. Rountree really did well on the outside because he knows if he gets caught, because Hill has that power, it only takes one punch. So Rountree was really smart, and little few boos or whatever, but he couldn't have done a better performance. So yeah, first round was pretty slow pace, but Rountree straight away established those leg kicks, hitting the calf inside and out, in the thigh, inside and out. And it was just he's actually, doing that Muay Thai, just showing high fight IQ, like Demetrius Johnson. I haven't heard what he's had to say about it, but I know he'll be foaming at the mouth, just seeing someone this is your clear path to victory, and then they go out and do it. It was so good to watch. The odds on this fight was super even, late. Rountree drifted out to $2.10. I got on that. And then on the commentary, they're Jamahal Hill's the slight underdog. So it just constantly kept chopping and changing, super even. Rountree to win by decision was at $9, and by knockout was $2.40. So I just went head to head $2.10, and then I just had a little nibble on the decision at $9. So thanks for coming, easy money, as Money Moicano would say. And then round 2, Rountree keeps not spamming but choosing his moments and just keeps hitting those leg kicks. Chucked a few oblique kicks in there. I thought he was going to finish him with the oblique kick, But, you know, he almost finished him with like just leg kicks in general because Jamahal Hill was like an elephant on skates. But yeah, Hill super flat footed, couldn't get much off every time he went to throw something. And he's real heavy on the front foot. Khalil did really well to counter and make him pay, especially like making his last. Like when he exited, he would also throw in a kick there sometimes. And Hill, like by the third round, his leg was just swollen. Like it was pretty nasty. I think of Conor McGregor, Dustin Poirier too, when Conor McGregor's leg got all swollen from that fight. But yeah, pretty much each round. But in the round 3, should probably get up the stats of this fight. Rountree, he got a few knockdowns himself. Yeah, so like he was super in control. He didn't need to take super risk, which very much frustrated Jamahal. So yeah, they've got one knockdown for Hill, for Rountree in the fight. But yeah, he did, like, Jamahal just kept losing balance. So I'm just looking at the TikTok live here. Love this, man. Cheers, mate. Thank you very much. Keep sharing, spamming the live. Cheers. But yeah, so Rountree, absolute, just show that he has that championship caliber. Like he fought Pereira and lost. It was a great fight. His stock rose 1,000 points after that Pereira fight. But yeah, it was just, he executed the game plan so well, and leading up to it, I was like, leg kicks, because Hill just super flat. He's really only got that boxing. He's not going to kick much, and if he does, you're going to see it coming. So, yeah, that ends up the way it did, and he gets the victory. And light heavyweight division right now is looking like Magomed Ankalaev. Who fights him next? Like Pereira lost to him. Are they going to rematch? Not sure. Yuri Prohaska, he's at uni or something studying, so he's out for the time being. Carlos Ulberg, ranked 3. I think he has to do one more fight for a title shot. So Rountree Jr. heading into this fight was ranked 7, and he just beat the number ranked 4, Jamahal Hill. So he will take that spot and probably fight, I don't know who will fight. Yuri, maybe? Like they could just do Yuri Ankalaev, or maybe, you know, timing could be perfect and he could just straight up get a title fight. So yeah, who knows? But yeah, hats off to Rountree Jr. Executed the game plan so well. Yeah, and for Jamahal Hill, he just because he's a big guy and he has that power, but yeah, the technical side of him is just like, it's lacking a bit compared to some of the other guys. And you know, he's got great hands. You know, you've seen his highlights of the knockouts. He's got great hands, but like he just couldn't get going in this fight, and it was perfect for him because it was super slow pace. Like Rountree just wasn't even bouncing around that much. Like it was super slow, and like imagine this fight compared to the Yuri fight. Like Yuri's, you know, ducking and weaving, poking his head in and out, moving around and bouncing around, and you're constantly trying to chase him and where is he at? Whereas Rountree just stood in front of him, but at that perfect distance. So, oh look, I just got a question in the TikTok here. Cheers, welcome back, you full of. Dana said Jones Aspinall was 100% to get done. I know, man. You can't believe everything Dana says. Dana White, you got to take everything he says as a grain of salt. Like, yeah, I think new MMA fans coming in, like you see a guy go, this is going to get done, who's in such a powerful position as the president. And you're like, oh yeah, Jones Aspinall, that's going to happen. But no, going in, you're like, no, just typical bit of gaslighting, bit of political answers like, we're going to get it done. And now here we are, you look at it, it's like, oh, you lied, but it's like, welcome to the fight game, welcome to the UFC, welcome to Dana White, welcome to the promoter, Dana White. I don't have any issues with it. Like, it is what it is. You got to keep the fans engaged, keep them, you know, you just got to keep their hopes up, really, and then disappoint them. Like what he's just done is just fully disappointed everyone. But I'm going to get into that a little bit later after I break down the UFC Baku card. So yeah, thanks for the question. So I'll go on to Hill, yeah, just couldn't get going. As I said, he's flat-footed, no foot movement, and Rountree just chopped at the legs and gets the win. All right, co-main event, Rafael Fiziev versus Ignacio Bahamondes. Fiziev gets the win, unanimous decision. It was a 50-50 fight. Yeah, just Fiziev with he's on a 3-fight losing streak. You're like, you know, he hasn't got a win for a few years. ACL injury. You full of Jones definitely comes back for one more. Just a question on the TikTok. I honestly was like, yeah, is he just gonna just retire, let Tom Aspinall fight a bit, come back? Yeah, I think he will come back, to be honest, but just the way he's been acting, yeah, I'm leaning 80% but towards he's officially retired, but I could see him coming back for sure. So yeah, Fiziev gets the win, back in the win column. Like, it's been like over 2 years since he's won. So the last time he won was July of 2022. So 3 years since he's won a fight, and he fought an upcoming prospect, Bahamondes, who trains with Bilal Muhammad, former welterweight champ. He has Bilal in his corner for the fight, but yeah, you could see during the fight, like, Fiziev just has a presence about him. Like, you're like, you don't want to get close to him because you're just going to know he's going to go ba 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 ba, just spam you with a freaking body kick and then a crisp double jab. Like, so, and then you could see that on Bahamondes, like, he respected Fiziev almost too much, but I could see why. Like, he just has a scary presence about him because he's 5'8", Bahamondes 6'3", and you're like, bro, just pick him apart from the outside. But Fiziev, as I was in the preview show mentioning, like, he just needs to manage that distance and blitz and exit out. Show the judges you're first in and you're last out. In between, who cares? And that's exactly what he did. He was in and out, didn't take much damage, and back in the win column. Such a technical fight, game of chess, really. A lot of stance switching. Like, they were both of them were constantly southpaw orthodox, changing up the reads. So, like, I wish it was 5 rounds in this fight. Like, when you get to this level, I mean, yeah, you want to see 5 rounds, but if you're going to get a 3-round fight, take it as you will. I thought there would have been a bit more output between the guys, being that it's 3 rounds, and it goes so quick. But yeah, so yeah, Fiziev, great to see him back in the win column. Like, he was born in Kazakhstan, but he fights out of, doesn't fight out of, but he represents Azerbaijan. So he was a hometown, which brings a bit of pressure. It was good to see in the last couple of rounds, Fiziev mix it up a bit with a couple of takedowns, which is great to see. And yeah, as each round went on, the output and volume got greater. That's why I was like, oh, 5-round fight would have been great for this, but is what it is. So, but yeah, with Bahamondes though, his guard is nasty, man. He ended up cutting Fiziev in the last round because Fiziev gets a takedown and then he's in his guard just copping elbows and gets split open, whatever. But yeah, Bahamondes, he's only 27. He's got, this won't diminish him at all. This will just gain him a lot of experience, go back to training and look and work on things, because there was a stand-up fight essentially, and if you're the taller guy, but Fiziev, he's just got crazy Muay Thai, man, and a bit of Volkanovski about him, to be honest, on that stand-up. It's like Volkanovski, a short guy, but his stand-up is insane, like Volk versus Holloway. Holloway, the taller guy, but got out pointed and struck by a shorter man. So Fiziev, and they've trained together, Fiziev and Volk, in Thailand. So yeah, so that ends Bahamondes' 3-fight win streak. But it's not a bad loss on your record, Rafael Fiziev, a healthy Rafael Fiziev. All right, we move down to the heavyweights. Curtis Blades, Rizvan Kuniev. Yeah, watching this fight, you're like, should have expected more from Curtis Blades, but turns out in the first round he popped his MCL. Yeah, so which is pretty understandable, considering like his output, and like he tried so many takedowns, and just hats off to Kuniev. He defended a lot of takedowns. He's Russian, so most likely has a wrestling background. But yeah, Curtis Blades, he does leave himself open. He did cop some heavy shots, took it well. I was thinking back to Derek Lewis when Derek knocked him out with that uppercut. But yeah, so he survived it. Rizvan, I did a reel about him, popping for all the juices, all the steroids. So I was pretty glad Curtis won. So yeah, look at the stats here. Takedowns, 2 of 15 for Curtis Blades. So he landed 13% of his takedowns. So he holds his ranking. Yeah, just like it was a split decision, like it was a really close fight. And yeah, these heavyweight fights, man. Here's an interesting stat that I heard today. Shout out to Mike Heck via MMAfighting.com. So the last time there was a finish in the heavyweight division was March 15th at the UFC Apex, so the Deleeds Vittori versus Vittori card. And it was Waltez Acosta finished Ryan Spann. So March, April, May, June. So it's been 3 months since we've had a finish in the heavyweight division. 3 months. Fuck. So pretty much we've just, any heavyweight fight, we've had to sit through 3 rounds of these big dogs fucking putting on mid-striking grappling performances. So yeah, the heavyweights been a pretty tough watch lately. So if you're betting heavyweights to win via decision, you're making bank. So yeah, it was Marvin Vittori, Roman Dolidze card. So I'm going off what Mike Heck said. But the last time there was a finish in the heavyweight division, and it was on the prelims, was Waldo Cortez Acosta, round 2 knockout over Ryan Spann. Tough scenes, I tell you. So, tough watch, especially getting up at 5 a.m. to watch this. Yeah, it was pretty tough. So right on to Blades, rest up. But yeah, we move on to the next fight of the main card. Mitabek Oralbai took on Tofik Musayev. So he gets the Kimura submission in the first round there. I believe this was a catchweight bout. Oralbai failed to make weight. But yeah, just dominated him, took him down. And as soon as he got him down, got the Kimura and yeah, finished him. So yeah, it was good to see great level change counters on the kick to get the takedown. As soon as the guy threw a low or body kick, instantly engaged the takedown, too strong, and got the Kimura. So yeah, he missed weight. It was a catch weight. So what weight was it doesn't matter. So yeah, well done to Oralbai. I know he's a bit of a cult hero. So yeah, catch weight submission. So yeah, not much else to go there, but this is what saved UFC Baku. This fight saved UFC Baku. And it was Nazim Sadikov versus Nicholas Malta. This fight ended in a round 2 knockout to Nazim Sadikov. He's from Azerbaijan. And wow, this fight was fireworks for the time it lasted. These guys ended up getting 100k each. They got fight of the night, 50k each, and they both got performance of the night. So Nicholas Malta lost and still got performance of the night. That's how crazy this fight was. Like Nicholas Malta had Nazim Sadikov against the cage and he threw about 1,000 shots. And the ref could have called the fight, but Sadikov just played possum and just rolled with the punches, kept the guard tight. Think of a boxer up against the ropes and just really tight guard, hands up, elbows tucked in, protecting the body. And he weathers a storm. Malta gets gassed from it. And yeah, so there were so it was 4 minutes into the second round. The KO happened for Sadikov. But for that, Sadikov had a total strikes of 161 over the fight, and Nicholas had 168. And the fight only went for 9 minutes. So you can think how many damn strikes that were thrown in this fight. So contention for fight of the year. This fight definitely saved the card for sure. So well done to Nazim Sadikov and Nicholas Malta. It was like, phone booth type of stuff. Yeah, I've wrote here, he took like almost 30 unanswered shots. Sadikov weathered the storm. So. And then move into the first fight of the main card, Muhammad Niamov versus Bogdan Grad. 3-round decision win to Muhammad. Good back and forth. Nothing too crazy. Nothing to really look back on. That's UFC Baku main card. I'll quickly skim through the prelims. I went back and watched the prelims. Hey guys, on TikTok, if you're listening, drop some questions below. If you got any UFC questions, drop them below. I'm recording a live podcast, UFC Baku post-fight show, and about to get shortly to Jon Jones' retirement. So if you've got any questions, drop them right now and I'll do my best to answer them. All right, so yeah, in the prelims, we had the featured bouts. Seong Ko from South Korea, completely butchered that in the welterweight bout against Oban Elliott. Oban Elliott was like a minus 400 or however it goes. Ko was like a plus 400 underdog. And what a performance Ko did. He gets the unanimous decision win. This guy is silky. This guy had some good judo tosses, great takedowns. Every time Oban went left, Ko had an answer for it. Like, Oban just couldn't escape him. He was like glue, Ko was. And yeah, just put on a great display. If you don't know, now you know sort of moment. Like, this guy is sharp. He's got all of the skills. And yeah, it was an exceptional performance. Like, yeah, I'm going to be definitely looking out for this guy and seeing what his betting props are, because yeah, he was definitely underestimated. Like, Oban Elliott is a tough guy. He's a, exceptional welterweight. And yeah, this Seon Ko, he from South Korea, man, he was so technical and sharp that, yeah, and he gets the win. Then we move on to probably the most controversial fight of the card. Ismail Nurdiev in the middleweight bout versus Ju-Yong Park. Tell you what, middleweights, there's always something going on with middleweight fights. But yeah, so we get into the first round was, back and forth a bit, nothing too crazy. I think Nurdiev gets the first, and then they're in the second round, going all right. Nurdiev's starting to do good. Gets Park up against the cage, but here's the thing: Park is a grounded opponent and cops an illegal knee to the face, just above, like on the eyebrow, essentially. And yeah, fight stopped. And super weird how they handled it. They're like, to the doctor, is he good to continue? The doctor's good. I never saw the ref ask Ju-Yong Park, is he good to continue? Language barriers never help. But so this ends up in a 2-point deduction. 2-point deduction for Ismail. So Ju-Yong Park wins the round, so he gets a 10-8. Yeah. So a 2-point deduction. I think that's the first time I've seen one of those 2-point deduction. But yeah, super illegal knee. I honestly thought it should have been a disqualification win for Ju-Yong Park. He should have just said, I can't continue, and he would have got the DQ win. There was nothing accidental about it. So yeah, last week we had Paul Craig, accidental up kick, fiasco with Bellato, Oscar winning performance type stuff, no contest. And then this was like, yeah, Ju-Yong Park, good on you for keep going, but bro, should have just taken the DQ win. But then in the third round, he comes out angry, and he ends up winning that round. So I think he won like 29-26 or something like that, 29-25. So yeah, that was on the prelims. But yeah, I'm glad I didn't wake up for the prelims. Yeah, it wasn't too exciting. We had ranked number 12 Tagir Ulanbekov from Russia, Habib Nurmagomedov's team. He gets the unanimous decision win over Azat Maxim in a close fight. Great back and forth again. Towards the end, bit of phone booth action. They're just like in the clinch, got each other's neck, bit like one arm tie clinch, and just throwing uppercuts, hooks. It was a pretty exciting fight. Bit of controversy around the decision, apparently. One One judge gave Tagir 30-27. But yeah, he won 29-28 across the two others. And then the first bout of the event was Hamdi Abdullah Wahab. He was a guy who's tested for everything under the sun positively of the steroids and all that. He fought Kamaru Usman's brother, Mohammed Usman. Nothing exciting there. 3-round decision heavyweight, like I said. March 15th or whatever was the last time there was a finish in the heavyweight division. So Usman gets the win. But yeah, UFC Baku done. No more freaking 5 a.m. main cards, 2 a.m. prelims, please. Go back to, in Australia, we get 8 a.m. or 8:30 a.m. early prelims, 10 a.m. prelims, and then 12 p.m. main card. Like, it is the best. So that'll be happening next week for Topuria Oliveira International Fight Week. So, but yeah. All right, before we move on, I just want to shout out my sponsor. And yep, that's right. It's you guys. You guys are the sponsors. Because yeah, without you and your support, wouldn't be doing this. So yeah, be sure to hit the like, follow, subscribe, follow Gibbo MMA across all the platforms. But yeah, gonna keep doing this. I would be live on YouTube, but you got to have 100 subscribers to go live on YouTube, and I have 30, and I have the 30 best subscribers on YouTube, but to go live you have to have 100, which is a bit annoying. But so I'll just be doing it on TikTok for now, or if it does well, I'll just keep doing it on TikTok. All right. Now we move to the post-fight press conference, when one of the biggest announcements happens in the history of the UFC. Like, you will look back at this and who this is about. This is one of the biggest announcements at a post-fight press conference. Forget fight announcements. This was a retirement announcement, real laissez-faire, real casual, and this happened at UFC Baku. UFC Baku will be remembered for this announcement. I don't think it will be remembered for when Rountree beat and chopped the living daylights out of Jamahal Hill's legs. This won't be remembered when Sadikov and Motar had that insane fight, which gave them each 100k bonus each. UFC Baku will be remembered when Dana White announced Jon Jones' official retirement. Yes, Jon Jones has officially retired from the UFC. Instantly, when I heard this, I just felt a bit of sense of relief, and finally, it's over. We're done. We're finished with this Jon Jones, Tom Aspinall fiasco of, are they going to fight? When is it happening? It's done. And for it to happen at UFC Baku, and all it took, it wasn't even the first question. It was like 4 questions in, this lovely lady goes, oh, like, what's the situation with Jon Jones and Tom Aspinall or whatever? Are they fighting? And Dana goes, Jon Jones called me last night and he's said he's retiring. So Jon Jones is officially retired. And yeah, got a few like, oh, reactions you could hear through the media members. And then the follow-up question was like, from memory, was like, oh, so who does Tom fight next or whatever? And then that was it. And they moved on back to the fights. So yeah, it was, like some are saying shameful. I just think disappointing, the way this has all happened. Like, UFC want to be up there with the NFL, the NBA, the MLB, the NHL. They want to be considered one of the big dogs, the big leagues, the big sporting organizations. And do you know what those guys do when the greatest of all time of their sport or one of the best athletes in their organization retires? They make the biggest deal out of it. They call a press conference and they invite all of the media members. They put the word out and they make a full-on press conference just for this person to announce their retirement. I mean, think back to, this wasn't retirement, this was I'm back. Michael Jordan, he had a press conference when he retired and took a step back, and then he had a press conference saying, I'm back. And like Tom Brady, like you think, big press conference, the list goes on, just pretty much any superstar, NBA, MLB, NHL, like they all have their own designated press conference to show that they're retiring. And this was, you have the greatest fighter of all time. You got Jon Jones, George St. Pierre, but Jon Jones, greatest fighter of all time, who's announcing retirement, but it's done by the fucking promoter at a fucking UFC Baku on the other side of the world at odd hours of the time, and it's off the back of some simple question from a lovely lady. Great question. She'll be loving it. That your greatest of all time athlete announces their retirement through fucking some fight night press conference. Like, what is doing? Seriously. God, it's just disappointing. Like, that just holds you back as far as getting you up there with the big dogs and you got to make these moments huge and, make it mean something. And you got to put your athletes sort of on like that pedestal of like this, this is greatness. Let's make a big moment of it. And it was just announced at some press conference. So yeah, super disappointing. And then Jon Jones comes out on Twitter and, tweets his paragraph or whatever. But, yeah, so. And then from that, they just kept asking about UFC Baku. So I feel like Dana White, was kind of glad it was at Baku, because then if it was in America and you had all the boys at the media guys, boys and girls, at the press conference, he just would have got non-stop questions like, who's Tom's fighting next? When's he gonna fight? Like, so was it just last night Jones retired? Like the deal couldn't get done? Like, is Jon Jones, do you think he will come back? Like, none of those questions were asked. So yeah, it's a bit disappointing, sad a little bit. Like, great opportunity to take the sport to the next level and do a really proper announcement. Like, you do your UFC Hall of Fame announcements, but like, as far as seeing someone like Jon Jones, like when we're going to look back in 20 years' time of who Jon Jones is to this sport and the athlete he is, like, he's our Tom Brady of the UFC, essentially. Like, I don't know, MLB base, like NBA, like he's our LeBron, Michael Jordan of the UFC. Like, imagine the commissioner of the NBA coming out after I don't know, like a divisional playoff game and going, oh yeah, so LeBron James just retired. No, he told me last night. like what the fuck? Yeah, it just it just really put like it put down the UFC status a lot with the way it was done. But yeah, we move forward. So the UFC, Tom Aspinall, is now the undisputed champ. So the last time we saw this, when the interim got elevated to undisputed, was Robert Whittaker. So George St. Pierre came back, beat Michael Bisping. 3 weeks later, said he's retiring, vacating. And Robert Whittaker was the interim champ at that point and then got elevated to undisputed. So Tom Aspinall, we can move on. He can finally get a fight. He's been out for almost a year. He's handled it so well. Yeah, you just like, he's 32 or something, so he's got heavyweight years. He's really young. But yeah, like, just, I'm so glad it's over. Such a bit of relief. We can move on, have an active champ. Jon Jones, you know, if you forget the heavyweight stuff and you just focus on his light heavyweight career, he's got 11 title defenses, I believe, and he's got 8 consecutive defenses. Obviously, he had got stripped because of the no contest and testing positive. So, and then he's got 1 title defense at heavyweight. So he's got 12 title defenses. Yeah. So yeah, that's yeah, leaves you pretty, yeah, just the air just really sucked away from the room after that. And yeah, good, we can move on. So I think, yeah, I might wrap it up there. It's UFC Baku done. Jon Jones retires. I mean, you could do a whole podcast just on that, but yeah, we're running out of time here. But we're moving on to International Fight Week. We've got Ilia Topuria moving up the lightweight versus Charles Oliveira for the vacant lightweight belt. And the co-main, we've got New Zealand's Kai Kara France versus Alexandre Pantoja in the co-main event. I'm going to most likely do a preview show on this. But yeah, UFC 317 International Fight Week has officially started. So Tom Aspinall will be there. We're going to get more and more context of the situation throughout the week. But yeah, UFC Baku in the books. Khalil Rountree, exceptional performance. 100k bonuses go to Sadikov and Mota. Exceptional fight. Jon Jones retires. It's announced by Dana White in disappointing fashion, but yeah. All right, we're going to end it there. Thanks, guys, for listening. Like, subscribe, follow Gibbo MMA across all platforms. Appreciate the support. And yeah, let me know, drop comment, any questions you might have regarding the Jon Jones situation. I want to hear your thoughts. Like, has this diminished his legacy significantly? I think, 5 years time, we probably won't even, we'll look back and go, oh yeah, remember, oh yeah, he just kind of ducked him a bit and blah, blah, blah. But, Jon Jones, greatest fighter of all time. Like, people have pretty short memories. But I don't know about this one though. Going out on this way, I think this sets, it's a pretty sour taste. And I think MMA fans will definitely, when you think of Jon Jones, it's because of the recency bias and the recent events, is he fucked around for a year saying he's going to fight, he's not going to fight, he's going to fight, give me the money. Apparently he got offered the money and then went, nah. So, and just wasted Tom Aspinall's time and, all the fights and money that he could have made. So, yeah, comment any questions you might have. But yeah, thanks again. Another episode in the books with Gibbo MMA. Have a great day, and I'll see you later.